It's just started to record now, if that's okay.
This is pretty okay.
Okay. If you could introduce yourselves, you don't have to do it by name. You can say your name and or the group, and then like what it is that y'all are.
I'm Comrade Zero.
I'm J. Biafra.
I'm EJ. I'm River.
And how long has this chapter of ABC been formed?
The first is 2018 when we were like blockading the road against the New Yogyakarta International Airport, and then our friend got arrested, and then like the NGO and leftists doesn't want to help him. Before that, we don't have really like the mechanism of like advocating anarchists in trouble. So we decided to make Black Cross to help him, because we don't want people like anarchists, like even non-anarchists, but they do it like anarchistic way, to be left alone.
So what is the thing that you would like, I guess people around the world, if people can see this. I mean, I don't have a lot of subscribers, but maybe this will be the one that blows up, and people could see this from anywhere. So like, what is it that you want people to know, especially?
Yeah, we want people to know that what the purpose of this tour is to make people like anarchists knows what they're doing, and then they know how to anticipate it. They know like what are their legal rights. They know how to not snitch on others, because snitching on others is not okay. And then they know there's many steps where you can like really fighting against system, and then you can get away with it. And then you know that people like Black Cross will help you, will there for you. And then like they know like the necessity of building your own Black Cross in your own area. So it's not centralized, it's decentralized. Like you believe in yourself that you can help others in the context of the struggle or revolt against state. That is for me like real anarchy. It's like decentralized value where people should decide what they want to do. We want to make like people have their own autonomy concerning their own geography. Because for me, who lives in the like this wide archipelago, I cannot just go to like Papua and they say, no, this is the best for you. No, I cannot do that because I don't understand that. When you want to understand like a vast archipelagos, you can't just like see it from like one perspective of like Eurocentric ideas about nation state. You have to know like different geographies. Different geographies means like different like means of production, means of cultural production. You have to know that. Otherwise, you will be like detached, because you only like want to impose your ideology, and like you think that your ideology is like the best of all for the fucking entire world. That's what I refuse about Eurocentrism and its liberation ideology.
Can you describe historical context of like, because it is all these different cultures, right? So like, can you in your words describe the context that makes these various cultures exist with one national border, so to speak?
Yeah, A nation state is a very Eurocentric concept.
I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge that. Sometimes before the First World War, the wealthier people of Japanese, where they go to study in Dutch in Europe, and they adopt that. And then when they go back to their country, they introduce what is nation state. They introduce what is human rights. They introduce that all of Eurocentric bullshit. There's no fucking human fucking rights because women, they don't give rights to women. You should like take it. And then like every other people should do like that. Like the Sentinels, the West Papuan, that the Decolonize. That's refusing all of these Western narratives of civilization that we are so accustomed of. For me, decolonization is about bringing autonomy to the extreme point. To the extreme point, what I mean is not that like we need other people know, but we know our soil, and we don't replicate other ideologies. It's kind of a simplification, but in other terms, it's also true. Because, like, if you understand, like, the Melanesian, the Sentinels, they don't know that. You have to understand other geographies. You have to understand other people. You can't just impose your ideologies because you think it's better. Because you think it's better for those people. Because those people don't think that way.
Yeah.
Leftists and anarchists from like European and American, not all of them, but they always think like their ideology is like maybe like anarchist communism or syndicalism or socialism is like the best of all. And it's absurd because when you go to Indonesia, you don't know shit about the language. You don't know shit about the geography. And how can you like make a claim that you know what's the best for the world? No, you cannot. That's what I hate about like Eurocentric beliefs. It's that when they came here, they tend to think that workers' council is the best of all. Syndicalism is the best of all. Socialism is the best of all. No. You have to understand that. You have to understand the soil, the people. You have to understand the geography. If anarchists from America or Europe, if they came here, try to understand the language. Try to understand the people first. Don't just like impose your ideology. That's the thing. Yeah, actually like that, you know, like mostly like ABC, like most like the red and black anarchists kind of like misunderstood us because like most of us are anarcho-nihilists, but we are not really like disengaged with social struggle. So we just use Steiner as a starting point to like casting away all the fucking spooks, and then knowing that when we struggle for ourselves, not because ideology.
What would you like to see people doing, and how can they help you if they can, and also just for themselves, what can they do?
In locally, we know like most anarchists are poor in here. even though there are so many now. Like we don't care about it. If like people want to do donation, we want people like more from abroad because we have different costs. Yeah, that's logical. But we do here. If we do serious, we have to do something more. Like I'm very skeptical about the environment. Like real serious anarchists, like we do like to make like something better in direct action, like stopping or fucking this insanity. Like I grew up in Borneo and it's almost no forest. It's frustrating. And all of the coals, the oil, it goes to the fucking first world. Like, yeah, maybe that's
I don't know.
because you extract everything in the whole wide world. I'm not saying it's you the problem. We also the problem. Yeah. Because capitalism is social relationship. And it's kind of very depressing to think about everything's like that. Don't you think about that?
No.
It's very good to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great. It's been great to talk to y'all. I would like to, if you're up for it in the future, like maybe once I've put out the video, that maybe we do a
Why
follow-up
not?
and
Yeah.
have maybe a more structured conversation. Sorry,
So we can have like a mutual understanding about the third world and the first world.
I would really love to be able to go into that. Yeah. Well then, okay. So for this video, I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it especially to the point about the ABC and the tour that y'all are doing and what the ABC
Okay.
does. And then I
Thank you
would
for
really
that.
of course, yeah,
Viva
historical
Anarchy.
analysis and stuff. Yeah.
Anarchist.
Yeah, thank you so
Bye.
much, y'all. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great day, Solidarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phoenix.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Dah. Bye.
See ya.